everyone. Today I
Hey.
want to welcome in Ruby Miller from Ruby's Lighthouse Tarot. And she is also one of the people who's gone through MJ's tarot certification process. She's almost finished. And I know Ruby personally, so I wanted to really work with her today because we've been talking about Black Moon Lilith and how strong she's going to be in this new moon eclipse that's going to be happening at 10 degrees of Libra. And it's very fascinating to me that I feel like women are taking a stronger role in things moving forward. And we both ended up drawing cards. Basically, the cards volunteered. I won't say drew cards. I'm saying the cards volunteered. And we will be drawing more cards. But we're really, I think, going to be feeling this more as a Lilith type reading as far as the card reading goes. And I think that's more about women finding their inner power, releasing the shame that they've been held down with, and moving more into their own personal power, and then also joining with other women out there. Very much a collective of, we were talking earlier, it's like yeah, we're going to solve the problems when the time,
We're going to
problem.
be the ones on the ground solving a lot of these issues. Yep, absolutely.
Ruby, why don't you go ahead and start with the cards that you actually had volunteer for you and what they mean to you to start with.
Sure. So the Light Seer's Tarot is what I was called to use for these cards because of the illustrations that are on them. And some of the information that I was really getting was that a lot of this energy that's coming into play now is because of some of the revelations and understandings that we had coming from Pisces, the Pisces eclipse from last month. And so there's some things that have come out. There's some things that we're realizing. There's some things that we're realizing need to be let go, or some things that we maybe didn't want to believe to be true that are making themselves known now. And a part of what Spirit was telling me before this reading started is about how with this solar eclipse energy that we're getting in Libra here, how are we going to move forward with that? And so for me, the card that I was getting the most was the Strength card here, and this illustration of that with our feminine energy really leading the way on all of that. But it doesn't, there's a reason why in tarot, let me just geek out for a second with you. In tarot, when we have the Devil card show up, the Devil is about, it can be revelations, it can be fears, it can be things that hold us back, it can be things that are coming out from other people. But the thing with the Devil card is in the tarot deck, there is one card in the entire deck that can overpower the devil energy. And that is the Strength card. The Strength card. And this is about us taking steps forward within ourselves, even if it is with that Lilith energy and also with the Mercury that's going to be coming into play with this as well. It's about making small decisions, starting to take steps that are in our own best interest, and asking ourselves some questions about, am I making these decisions because I don't want to be uncomfortable or make other people uncomfortable with what I'm determining to be true for me and what I have as an inner knowing in my heart? And I think we're a lot of times, especially as feminine energies, we're really focused on not letting other people down, thinking about the collective, thinking about how things that we're going to do might impact other people. And this is about the realization that if we're making decisions only based off of other people's feelings or not disrupting the status quo, whatever that may mean for you in your life, just thinking about how we're letting ourselves down. And we can have that happen through these revelations, shame, those sort of things that we experience that can hold us back from loving ourselves first. And I think and this other card that I got here was the moon, but this depiction of the moon is about drowning in maybe what we've realized or what we're understanding through that Pisces energy, because some of the revelations that I think came out could have been very painful and maybe some things that we haven't wanted to fully address in the past.
Astrologically, what you're saying makes perfect sense because that full moon eclipse in Pisces was illuminating
Mm-hmm.
relationship issues. It was really showing us how we maybe, because it was also very much part of Neptune being there, how that stepping out of the illusion that we
Yes.
that we had going on for ourselves and really seeing the truth of what was out there. Very strong emotional energy with Neptune being there. And then we also had basically at that same time, we had Circe and Hecate were also at 29 degrees with Virgo and Pisces. So I love the asteroid goddesses because they also tie into, this was a time to start to have Hecate being a turning point in your life, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so you have that energy, and the way you were describing how in this new moon Libra energy, we have had the South Node there about us not accepting those kind of relationships anymore that are toxic, people pleasing relationships. Very
Right.
much put us in our shame with Black Moon Lilith. You're doing it because because it's what everybody else wants. And there's where that devil energy comes in, that somebody
Yes.
else is pulling the
You're
strings.
telling me to pull a card, so I'm going to grab it for you while you're talking.
Yeah, I do trust her
Okay, will tell
energy.
me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's very definitely the energy that is tying in with the astrology. And as we were talking, we were like, oh, Black Moon Lilith is going to be huge in this. And as we move forward, not accepting those relationships anymore that have done nothing but keep us in strings, tied up. That's
Right.
the energy that I got from your devil card. It's just like
Yep.
we have been so bound up in this energy, and now we're not going to do that anymore.
We're not going to do that. And they showed me two of wands from this deck, which is the gilded, I believe it's the gilded tarot by Ciro Marchetti.
Mhm.
This one, the two of wands in this one. Now, sometimes I view two wands as the ask, but sometimes I also view it as Hecate type energy because you're choosing a path. And look at they showed me this particular one because this one is about illumination of a path. So the moon is what we don't see. The moon is what is like you're traveling without light. You're feeling like you're drowning. You're having these things. You're realizing some of these things that are the revelations that have come out, or the inner knowings that you may not want to know to be true, and that can feel very overwhelming when you're in that moment and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. And what that can do to you on an emotional level. But the gift is this little light with the
Right.
Hecate energy of the illumination of the path now, but they're not walking yet. They're seeing the path and they're seeing that illumination of it, but they're
And
not.
Hecate does that too. Hecate will illuminate because of her
Yes,
torch and her keys and all
that's
those things.
right. Her torch shines the light. And that is the gift that we are seeing here with uh, so to overcome that energy, the answer is within your individual strength. And Leo energy is based off of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Leo energy is based off of the heart. And so the answer to overcoming this energy is through the heart, breathing through our heart, feeling through our heart, opening with our heart, and making decisions with our heart. Because when we're here, we cannot be here. We cannot be stuck in the matrix or the false matrix energy. We cannot be stuck in thoughts. We cannot be stuck in those lower vibe energies. We are breathing through our knowing of now, and we're not thinking about the past, and we're not worrying about the future. We're sitting in the presence of now and feeling ourselves as we are. And in doing that, the lion starts to transform. And I'm getting
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you a question, because this is astrologically and also, you know, message wise, I felt like we're in that portal time between the two eclipses.
Yes.
And
The in between.
the in between. And I really feel that people have had some, I almost want to say brutal illuminations of things going on in their personal
Yes.
life. And I think a lot of people are still there, you know, seeing truths that you didn't want to see. And because, you know, Neptune was there, but because the moon was there, it kind of ripped that idea to shreds.
Absolutely.
And I think what we'll find as we get to this new moon energy in Libra is, for me, astrologically, it's also been about, now is the time for us to have new kinds of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And we were also discussing that with some of the feminine energy, some of the problems have been in the past where women are not supportive of each other. And that needs to change in order for us to all get to a higher level with things going on in our lives. So I did have some cards that I pulled out that were oracle cards, and I'm just going to touch on them briefly because it's I think part of this energy is we're moving forward. Eclipses last for a while, and it's destined energy. It's meant to put us on our path. It's meant to move us forward, even though some of the things that we may have found have been painful things in relationships that were illuminated for us. The first thing that came out was patience and planning, right?
Yeah.
This, and it's a number 7 card, right? Very
Mm-hmm.
spiritual. So knowing that as we're moving forward, you can see the different seasons on here, right? So the seasons are going to be changing. And as we move into those seasonal changes, I think we'll see differences with what's going on. And then you have the number 2 about making decisions, movement, choices, decisions. And there's a lot of choices. There are a lot of choices.
Again with the 2 energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the final one was victory and success, right? Recognizing and having, I think people have to make that decision. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be stuck?
Right. That's right. Because, you know, I get sayings and I get messages from my guides as I do readings live usually. And they just told me truth teller, and they're referring to MJ and her reading about truth teller energy. And it's about having the strength to tell the truth to others and make decisions based off of the truth that we know inside using our heart, but also telling the truth to ourselves and being honest with ourselves about what the truth is that we're actually seeing in order to make those decisions, but not staying quiet anymore. And using that bravery, the strength, and the fortitude to step into your full power with the tool of the strength card, with telling that truth, saying that thing, admitting that thing, because it was illuminated before, but
That's
it
devil
takes a
card energy
whole
too.
nother level. Yes, with that devil card energy, but it's a whole nother level to say it out loud. How many of us have had a revelation come to us that we know is the truth and it hits us in the face like a bag of bricks, right? And
right.
Then we're like, but is it? Or we question ourselves, and, oh, maybe that's not really what I thought it was. But when we say the words out loud, you can never go back after that point. When you say the words to yourself and you're like, this person is toxic.
And what's happening, and what's happening more and more is that as people are listening to their intuition more, we are like walking lie detectors now. I mean,
Yes.
many people have had that where they're like, somebody will be talking and they're like, nope, not believing that. Nope, nope,
Right.
nope. No,
Right.
that doesn't. It's almost like you're listening to a note and then there's like a note that is discordant with
Yeah.
what's going on. You're like,
Yes.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but there was something in
Yeah.
there that wasn't the truth,
Something
right?
feels off. Yes,
Right,
something feels
right.
off. And I think that there is an element of, there has been a lot of, there is energies that have people that are in a darker energy in the world, or they're in energy of lack, or they're in, energy of creating shame for divine feminine energy in order to stifle, in
Hmm.
order to keep them down. And what I'm feeling energetically is the need to just explode out with the truth, the need to express that truth, the need to trust yourself when you may have been questioning yourself. And, for example, like there is a lot of people who are in narcissist type energy out there in the world, right? And there's a lot of what is referred to as covert narcissists, people who will smile and pretend to be a certain thing in one way, and you will question yourself because you're not really sure if what you're feeling internally is true, because they present themselves a different way. They're not overt about it, they're covert. They're behind the scenes. And I think a lot of people with the Pisces eclipse that came through were kind of like, oh, this person is not what I thought. This job, how it was presenting itself, is not what I thought. And so that revelation, and then being able to tell the truth to yourself, and to realize that if you want things to change in your life and for other people around you, this is about the collective all waking up. We are walking truth tellers now, but are we going to do something about it? You can know something, but
Yeah.
are you going to do something about it once you do know?
And that's such strong energy, and we are going to have that point reactivated over and over again, that 25 degrees of Pisces. So the lessons are still going to be coming in. We will have the nodes change signs January of this year into Pisces, so that north node will be going over that 25 degree of Pisces where the eclipse happened. So it will be reactivating. Oh, you got something already.
Yeah, so I have most of my cards fly out. So I will pull, I pull underneath energy, which I'll tell you guys in a minute.
Yeah,
But the card that I just got discussing what we're talking about right now is detachment. So detachment is subtract your own agenda from the goal, let go of the tight hold you have on this situation, as there is a higher power at work. So what they're reminding me of is divine detachment, allowing things to be as they are without
hmm,
allowing yourself to be pulled into the guilt, the shame, the other people telling you what your reality is, which is otherwise known as gaslighting sort of situations, or telling yourself a truth that you want to believe, because we can gaslight ourselves as well.
hmm.
Detaching from that is where the power lies, because it also can refer to past pain. So, how do you process your past pain and truths that are being told to you without drowning
Right.
in it?
And
Because it's so powerful.
the part of detachment too is letting go, because eclipses are faded energy. People need to
Yes,
remember
yes.
this, that you need to let go of what you think the outcome should be, because the universe and God have a greater um, reward or path for you than you think you have.
Yeah.
So that's part of what the energy should be. And as we tie back to Black Moon Lilith, it's her not being allowed to be herself, her not being allowed to speak out, and being put in shame in a lot of situations. So wherever you have Black Moon Lilith natally in your chart is very important. But collectively now we have this Black Moon Lilith getting ready to do those new relationships. She's going to be conjunct this new moon, Libra energy, Libra relationships. And she's
Yeah.
going to be willing to speak out with Mercury there. She's going to be willing to speak out now. It's like, that's not right. She'll be out there like, no, no,
Right.
that's not how things should happen. There are different
Yeah.
solutions. There are different solutions.
Yes. And freeing yourself. I mean, because you see here with the devil energy here, they've got those little strings of attachment. And so they're talking about detachment,
Mm,
detaching yourself from either whatever we're inflicting on ourselves to keep us small, or what other people are doing to keep us small, or ways we're thinking, because it can be the way we think too that can actually constrain us.
yes. And Mercury is also
The
about thought
stories we
process.
tell ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And
The
that
stories.
can be Mercury too, about that thought
Right,
process as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's sometimes it's called relearning. It's very
Yes.
much about how did I hurt myself in the past by kind of going along with, oh, well, if that's what you guys want to do, I'll go along with that. And not having your own sovereignty, which is about, what we need to be moving forward. When everybody goes for what is their greatest and highest good, the collective gets what's for its greatest and highest good as well. So
Exactly.
everybody gets elevated. So let's just shuffle and see what cards are wanting to come out. And
Sure.
because I feel like they've got it going on with
First,
what
though,
this
they
energy
did
is.
say this underneath. This underneath is the 5D energy. So this is the reason why is because we are light workers and we are meant to shine our light. We are powerful beings capable of shining a healing light on the humanity. When we are truth tellers and when we begin to speak our truth, we're not just doing it for ourselves. It is raising the vibration of the entire planet, and it is releasing all these little strings that may be invisible to us or to other people, but we're freeing ourselves. And when other people see us doing that, how does it affect the vibration of the rest of the entire world? And if you think about it from feminine energy, it's about empowerment. Because when we watch someone else do it, what is your first reaction? Your first reaction is to say, what can I do differently?
Yeah, it's really I just had this pop out, 5 of Cups. And normally it's like, well, she has a lot of choices. And I'm like, why? The message I got when this first came out, I'm like, why is she just sitting there? That was what came out. I was like, why are you just, I mean, you know how that happens when
Right.
you're like a pull a card, and I always get a different
Yeah.
message every time I
It
look at
looks
this.
like wallowing. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
Yeah.
told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, why are you just sitting there right now? It's like,
Hmm.
pick up your cups and like, let's get this party started.
Right. And look at her drowning. She's just
Oh yeah.
she's letting herself sink.
Yep. And then I got this out. I'm like, so we should start. I'm like, we should start a Lilith club. It's
Oh, I would love that.
yeah. So
I would love
here's
that.
the 10 of Cups. This energy of, here are women that are supporting themselves
Oh,
and being, because this is that energy of. I really think this is one of the messages that was meant to come out today, is that women are supporting each other, and that emotional support that we provide for each other is what has been lacking in a lot of areas in people's lives, truly.
yes,
So
I agree. I'm asking how should women support each other through this time frame. Messages from spirit.
let's see what else I
There's
have
a
coming through.
message.
Yeah, I'm letting them
I
all
got
volunteer today.
a huge chunk. But 2 of Cups. So that I won't
Yes.
take the one on the bottom, but this is about equal give and take and equal recognition of what someone else has to offer. Think about how we as women have been told that we're supposed to be competing.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, I see you and I love and appreciate you for who you are, let's empower each other. Let's be there for each other fully. Let's embrace each other. I mean, their way that they're just looking at each other like, I see you, girl. I love that. I love that.
Such strong energy. I mean, I really think that a lot of the answers are for, you help someone. That, and I also got this message in another one of the readings. It's like, as a healer, you help people that are re- that are helping themselves, that are taking those steps as far as the healer energy as well going forward, is that there's people that have made the decision not to move forward.
There are.
And unfortunately, there's free will cannot be changed. Free will is the top thing in the universe that everybody gets. And if you decide that you don't want to go on this journey, that is
There are
accepted.
people that are being left behind. Yeah, there are people that are leaving. They're being left behind energetically, and
I
there's
see
another
Archangel
tribe
Michael.
that's going to be moving. Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael's here to support that, and and they're showing me the two cups here with the balancing. This is equal reciprocity with the backing of spirit with this whole idea that we're talking about here. And it's just kind of blowing my mind because this is a lot of major arcana going on, but it is about us taking that power. It's about us doing it because the strength card gives you the strength and fortitude to do this. That's the universal backing of doing this to overcome it. But if you don't take the action steps, yes, it's the end.
Wish granted, 9 of Cups.
Oh, wish granted. Yeah. So this is about choosing you and taking the steps forward with your own actions. Because if you have the universe backing you up, but you don't take the action, you're going to be stuck in that mindset from before. This is about transforming.
Well,
because
and
9 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the 10 of Cups energy. And to me, it's like, this is the emotional support that you're giving others, and that, it can make such a huge difference in someone else's life if they have to be willing to do the work. And then you also have this 9 of Cups energy coming in. And because I feel like they're getting the support, then they can soar, right? This is complete living in the moment, and everything's going to be fine. And because it is, actually, people.
It is going to be fine.
It's going to be chaotic.
It's going to be,
chaotic.
yeah. It's going to, but yeah, with the right people around you, you can do anything. And sometimes people just need to be heard. A lot of times people who are getting ready to step into their power for healing and being there for other people think, oh, well, but I'm not totally done with my healing journey. You don't have to be done. When are we done? We're never done.
Yeah. Right.
We're all on this path together. That phrase, we're all just walking each other home.
Right.
Walk with each other, put our hands around each other, walk through it together. You don't have to be healed. You're not going to be fully healed.
No.
But part of healing yourself is if you're a light worker and if you're watching this, the reason you're here is because you're meant to do something more. And it's about taking those steps.
And that energy of the Knight of Wands coming forward, to me, this is always about living in the moment in a happy way, and being, moving forward quickly. And if you're just in that I know things are going to get chaotic. There's just no way around it. But if you're on this kind of energy, you're on a higher timeline. You get to be on a higher timeline, which is its own protection with what's going on up there. And so it's very beautiful energy of, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to enjoy the moments that I can. And I also had the Page of Cups come out, and it's just like, you know what? Anything
is possible. Page of Cups ever.
It's just like that obviously heart-centered space of the energetic of, something new starting, being able to move forward. I really get the energy of living in the moment, because the only moment you can do anything about is now. That's it.
Right here. When you're here and you're not here, then you're surfing the energy. If you're here in the present moment, you're not worrying about whatever's going to be happening in the world. You're not thinking about the past and what has happened to you and all those lower vibes. You are instantly putting yourself into a place where you are able to vibrationally jump. And that is the protection of the strength card as well.
Right. And I think that people that are out there and watching what's going on in the world, I keep saying it's going to be a mess. Trust yourself. Trust the people around you. Be in community with people. That was that 10 of Cups. Being in community is important because, what hurt us before is that we were always doing everything on our own.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
always this, and then having other people define who we were, which is, we were going along to get along. We've broken that. That's why the South Node went through Libra. We've broken those old toxic relationship patterns.
Yes.
Toxic relationship patterns that we were taught and probably were triggers from our childhood. And Mars, by the way, when it goes into retrograde, we are going to be working on healing our inner child, and that's going to be coming out as well. Well, I'll
Yes.
be talking about that more and more as we approach that time. But it's very definitely a time of, we are going to be getting healing as we're moving forward. But you need to just move forward because this is your destined path, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, you're never going to be ready. Sorry, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to be in that perfect position. You're not. You're like, oh, but I
No,
feel like
it's
a
about
leader.
taking the steps,
Yeah,
doing
taking
it
a step,
anyway.
doing
But
it anyway.
also, I just asked messages from Spirit regarding the devil energy, and they
Mhm.
showed me Four of Pentacles. So to me, that's about, you've gotten some information, you've gotten some downloads, you've gotten kind of like, who is in my tribe? Who is, trust is not something that is just freely given, where we trust someone without validation and trusting ourselves. We can be told whatever anybody wants to tell us. And so it's about, what information am I sharing with people? How am I opening my heart to people? And what do I keep for myself? What do I want to keep to my own heart? And using the power of discernment, they just said, about moving forward, because I can tell you, I am a certified past overtruster. Right, so like my friends were like, when they first met me, they're like, man, you just told us everything about your life. I'm like, that's because I have nothing to hide. But at the same time, who do we tell, who do we trust? Because if not everyone has the same intentions necessarily, or we're finding out things about moving forward with our lives, discernment is extremely important during that time. About what do we hold close to our chest? Yes, the Ace of Swords. Yep.
Mhm. Knowing the truth, feeling the truth, understanding the
Yeah.
truth, right? Living in our own truth.
Yeah.
And the other card that came out with that,
And that's, oh,
judgment.
judgment. Yeah.
Hecate.
And it's very, both of those is about the light shining upwards, and it's about the download information that we're getting into, and it's about trusting that and using that to be able to make decisions in our lives. And they may not start out as big ones, even though judgment energy is really big. It may be a path where we're starting to make small, decisive decisions that move us forward. And
Mm.
trusting ourselves in doing that, because it's about the practice of doing that that leads you on that path where you're going. You don't walk this path and end up at the very end of it right away. You take a step with each decision and choose you every single step.
And part of what also is people go forward, they don't know what their path is quite yet. A lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
What is important to remember is kindness. What can you do every single day that is going to make a small thing, a small
Mm-hmm.
thing that is going to make somebody else's life just that little bit better?
Yep.
And that is actually much more huge than you realize, because you're setting that
Yes.
intention with someone else that, you know what, I'm doing this today. What can I, opening the doors for people.
It's
I live
Lightworker
in a little
energy.
town. People hold
Mm-hmm.
doors for each
Oh, yeah.
other, and saying
Oh,
please and thank you and you're welcome and all of those things. And those things, and with a smile, makes a huge difference in someone's life.
yeah. And I don't think it's as common as it used to be now. And I think people have good reason to have a lot of things on their mind and that we're all going through, because the world's in a much different place. And so I'm not saying that I don't understand why, but we are the ones that can make a very small difference. And that in itself is spreading the light, which also illuminates your own light and creates that effect. So like, you know, when people go to that McDonald's drive-through line and somebody pays for their drink and the person behind them is like, you know what, I'm going to pay for their drink. And then their drink gets paid and it ends up being like 10 people that have all paid it forward in that moment. And you could be that person that starts that chain of love. And it raises the vibration of all of us by
Butterfly
doing
effect.
that. So the yes.
Yeah, that transformational energy. So, well, I think we should probably end it here because I like that we ended it on that kind of a note. So let me go ahead and let's say goodbye to everyone. Thank you, Ruby, for coming on. It was so much fun. And
thank you so much.
Congratulations on your being at the end of your journey with Mary Jo, and who I have very much great love and appreciation for. She's such a positive role model for women out there. So thank you to everyone who is watching, and make sure that you check out Ruby's channel. She started a channel not too long ago, and I will leave, yeah, well, I will leave a link down below so that you can get a chance to see more of her work. So thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you again soon. So
yes, thank you.
have an amazing day.